Hey all here. So now we have certain chromosomal disorders. We start first with thalassemia. Thalassemia is caused as a autosomal recessive disorder. Where is the gene for thalassemia found on? Autosomes. And the gene is a mutated gene which will become a recessive gene. A normal gene will become dominant and the mutated gene will become recessive. So it's an autosomal recessive disorder. Hemoglobin is a conjugated protein consisting of A chain and B chain. Each chain consists of alpha and beta subunits. So hemoglobin molecule mein we have iron and we have 4 chains. We have A chain and B chain. Each chain is made of alpha and beta subunit. So this is A alpha, this is A beta, this is B alpha, this is B beta. So you have A alpha, A beta, B alpha, B beta, and sir, in all the 4 chains, one oxygen atom will get attached to it, an oxygen molecule gets attached to it. That is the reason we say one hemoglobin can bind with 4 oxygen molecules, 4 HbO2. 4 HbO2. So A alpha, A beta, B alpha, B beta, चारों पे एक oxygen molecule attached होता है, and that is the reason 4 oxygen atoms are attached. We say 4 HbO2 is the way it will be done. And thalassemia is an autosomal inherited disorder characterized by decreased synthesis of either alpha or beta chain of hemoglobin A. So hemoglobin A ka alpha chain or beta chain undergoes a mutation, and that means alpha chain or beta chain will not bind with oxygen because the gene has undergone a mutation, and mutated genes will form proteins which don't bind with oxygen, and that will result in anemia. So it will not be 4 HbO2, it will be 3 HbO2 or 2 HbO2, and that will cause anemia, oxygen deficiency, and that disease is called as thalassemia. And इसके अंदर एक याद रखना है, बीटा एंड अल्फा थैलेसीमिया is caused by deficient synthesis of beta or alpha subunit respectively of the HbA. तो अगर alpha chain is mutated of HbA, then that is called alpha thalassemia. If beta chain of HbA is mutated, it is called as beta thalassemia. Sir, where are these genes found? The alpha globin chain is coded by a gene on chromosome number 16, and gene for beta globin chain is located on chromosome number 11. So where is alpha globin chain found on? Chromosome number 16. So autosome number 16 pe we have gene for alpha globin, and where is gene for beta globin found on chromosome number 11. So 16 pe alpha and 11th पे beta chain है. If 16 or 11th chromosome gene undergoes mutation, it will form alpha thalassemia or beta thalassemia, which one of the diseases. And sir, what will happen in this disease? Clinically, the person suffers from anemia, that is an inability to synthesize hemoglobin, and sufficient oxygen carrying capacity will become less. At the oxygen capacity, the body will be reduced. We will have breathlessness, anemia. There will be jaundice, variations in the size and shape of RBC. तो anemia होगा, jaundice होगा, and RBC का shape change हो जाएगा. These are symptoms of thalassemia. How do you treat thalassemia? Massive blood transfusion is required. And sir, in case there oxygen deficiency hai, and the quality of hemoglobin is weak, so you need to give blood transfusion where normal RBC of his blood group is given to him, and that normal RBC will increase the oxygen carrying capacity. So thalassemia, every month 10 to 15 units of blood is given to them. 10 to 15 pints of blood is transfused into them, and that will increase their oxygen binding capacity. So this is thalassemia. And then we have chromosomal disorders. ये ध्यान से सुनना, chromosomal disorders are caused due to absence or excess or abnormal arrangement of one or more chromosomes, and that is an absence or excess or abnormal arrangement of chromosome. What happens is there is a failure of segregation of chromatids during cell division, resulting in gain or loss of chromosome, which is called as aneuploidy. तो एक abnormal chromosomal pattern आ जाता है, which is called as aneuploidy. Now, what will happen in this term? Please listen to this carefully. Sir, you have 22 pairs of autosomes, and you have, say, X and XX chromosome. And this is germ cell. Germ cell होता है ये. Now this lady in her ovary is having 44XX. Now suppose she decides to become a mother after the age of 35-40, or more commonly say after 45 years of age. 40-45 years के बाद what will happen in her ovary is this. Sir, normally you have 44XX undergoing segregation to form 22X egg and 22X. तो 22X ऐसे करके meiosis होगा. If you remember, what will happen during meiosis? In pachytene, homologous chromosomes undergo crossing over. In diploidine, after crossing over at chiasma, the homologous chromosomes start repelling. In diakinesis, it undergoes terminalization. And then in metaphase, homologous chromosomes are arranged on the equator. In anaphase 1, due to pulling of spindle fibers, the homologous chromosomes separate, which is called as disjunction. Now, what happens in many women who are more than 40 years of age, when meiosis takes place in their ovary, all chromosomes undergo disjunction. Homologous chromosomes separate. But 21st autosome, the 21st pair of somatic chromosome autosome, उनका disjunction नहीं होता है. It will not happen, and you will have not one chromosome going on either side. You will have a pair of chromosomes going here. So sir, यहाँ पर क्या आ जाएगा और यहाँ पर क्या आ जाएगा? You will have 21 autosomes, 20 autosomes, 20 autosomes, 21st autosome, not one but two. And then we have 22nd, and we have X chromosome. And what happens in the other gamete? We have 20 autosomes, no 21st autosome, and we have 22nd and X chromosome. So what has happened, sir? If we look at this, this is autosomes, and sir, this is crossing over of autosomes. And 21st के अंदर crossing over होगा, and this is 21st pair, and this is 22nd, and this is 23rd. Now when meiosis takes place, all these chromosomes will separate. These chromosomes will separate, but these two will not separate, and this will become one egg. So इसके अंदर how many autosomes are there? We have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, till 20, and 21st you have a pair, and then 22nd, 23rd, and in this other gamete we have 22 autosomes में 20 autosomes, no 21st autosome. 21st autosome is not there. 22nd and X chromosome. So this egg now is, instead of 23 chromosomes, there are 24 chromosomes. And this gamete, instead of 23 chromosomes, have now got 21 chromosomes. So यहाँ कितने हो गए 24 chromosomes और यहाँ कितने हो गए सॉरी 22 chromosomes. So 22 chromosomes, there is a 21st of chromosome gone here, and this egg with 21st chromosome pair, which is called non-disjunction. इनका क्या हुआ separation, which is called as disjunction, और इनका क्या हुआ non-separation, which is called non-disjunction. If a sperm goes and fuses with this egg, what will the sperm carry with it? The sperm will carry with it 22 autosomes and X chromosome, and this egg and this sperm, when they fuse with each other, what will happen? 21st chromosome, egg में there was already a pair, and now the sperm provides one more 21st chromosome. So now we have 3 21st chromosomes. 3 21st chromosomes, and this disorder is now called as Down syndrome. Very common in women who have a child after the age of 40-45 years suffer from Down syndrome babies. And what happens in Down syndrome? 21st chromosome, instead of 2 there are 3, and this is because of non-disjunction of the 21st pair, and that will lead to a disease called as Down syndrome. Something similar may happen to the X chromosome and X chromosome. अगर X and X chromosome के बीच में क्रॉसिंग ओवर हुआ है एंड उनका डिसजंक्शन नहीं होता है, नॉन डिसजंक्शन टेक प्लेस, then one egg will have 22 autosomes and XX sex chromosome, and the other egg will have 22 autosomes and no sex chromosome. No sex chromosome, so that will be a O. No sex chromosome, and 22 autosome with XX sex chromosome is one kind of egg, and 22 autosome with no sex chromosome is another kind of egg. If a sperm with 22Y chromosome fuses with this egg, then that will form 44 XY की जगह XXY, and 44 XXY is now a disease called as Klinefelter syndrome. What is that disorder called as? Klinefelter syndrome. 44 plus XXY, and if a sperm with 22X fuses with this X, then that will form a zygote which will have 44 autosomes and X of the sperm and no sex chromosome, so that will be 44X0, and 44 plus X0 is a disease called as Turner syndrome. So what are Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome? They are due to non-disjunction of either 21st chromosome, then that will form Down syndrome, or XX sex chromosome, that will form XXY Klinefelter syndrome, or X0, that will be Turner syndrome. So these are all the chromosomal disorders possible. उसमें से let's see which are the diseases. you have Down syndrome. Down syndrome is called trisomy 21. Trisomy 21, 21st chromosome, instead of 2, there are 3, so it is called as trisomy 21. Trisomy 21, this syndrome was first described by Dr. John Langdon Down, named after him, called Down syndrome. It is aneuploidy. Normal chromosomal pattern is called diploidy. यहाँ पर क्या आ जाएगा? Aneuploidy, non-disjunction of the 21st chromosome will result in an extra chromosome number 21, presence of 3 copies of 21st chromosome, and that is trisomy for 21st chromosome. It is due to failure or separation of 21st chromosome or non-disjunction during meiosis, and occurrence of an extra chromosome in the diploid chromosome number is called trisomy, which is represented by 2n plus 1. What is 2n? 46 plus 1. So how many chromosomes are there? 47. Instead of 46, we have 47, which is the extra chromosome. 21st autosome is the extra chromosome. What will be the features of a child suffering from Down syndrome? Most children show typical facial features with a fold of skin, epicanthal skin fold over the inner corner of the eye. This results in a downward slanting of eyelids. उनकी eyelids के अंदर यहाँ एक extra fold आ जाता है on the inner corner. तो inner corner पे extra fold of skin आ जाती है, so eyelids are slanting downward. So a downward slanting of the inner eyelids take place, and that is called as an epicanthal skin fold. So that is an epicanthal skin fold. That is a classical feature of Down syndrome. Along with it, the face is typically flat, rounded flat nose. Face flat होता है, nose is rounded. The nasal bone does not develop, and he has a rounded nose. Mouth is open and tongue is protruding. Mouth open and tongue protruding out. Why is the child behaving like that? Because the poor child is mentally retarded. So mental retardation होता है. He has no control over salivation. He salivates. His tongue protrudes out, mouth is open, and saliva keeps on dribbling from the corner of his mouth because this poor child is mentally retarded. Due to poor skeletal development, they have short stature. Height कम होती है, relatively small skull. The skull size is small and palate is arched. हमारा palate flat होता है. This is your hard palate. And it's flat, then there is an arch of soft palate. But sir, he has got the entire palate showing an arch. So उसका arch palate होता है, and along with it, a flat hand with a characteristic crease running across the palm, which is called as a simian crease. तो हमारे 3 creases होते हैं, ये उस बच्चे को नहीं होते हैं. They don't have these creases. They have one crease running across like this. एक crease, single crease ऐसे palm में होता है, which is called as a simian crease. So sir, what does the poor child have? A epicanthal skin fold, a simian crease, short stature, poorly developed skull, arched palate, and along with it they have mental retardation and a flat face, flat nose, mentally retarded, tongue protruding out, saliva dribbling. Most of these children also suffer from cardiomegaly. Their heart becomes enlarged. So they have a cardiac enlargement, and that will result in the child suffering from a cardiac problem. Most children with Down syndrome die early, and that is a terrible disorder to have. Who has it? Women who have a child after the age of 40-45 years have a Down syndrome baby, what was the problem? 21st chromosome during meiosis did not separate. Disjunction did not take place. So the egg got two 21st chromosome, sperm got the third 21st chromosome, and 21st chromosome is a trisomy 21, which is called as Down syndrome. Then we have Klinefelter syndrome and Turner syndrome. Sir, अगर X chromosomes के बीच में disjunction नहीं हुआ, that means one egg will have 22 XX and the other egg will have 22 0. If a sperm with Y chromosome fuses here, it will become 44 XXY, which is called Klinefelter syndrome. And if a sperm with X chromosome fuses here, it will form 44 X0, which is now called as Turner syndrome. So chances of a child having Turner syndrome and Down syndrome is 50-50. अगर यहाँ XX है तो यहाँ Klinefelter होना चाहिए, यहाँ 0 है तो यहाँ पर Turner होना चाहिए. But Turner syndrome babies, most of them die within the uterus during embryonic development. तो इसीलिए टर्नर सिंड्रोम के बेबी रियल लाइफ में आपको ज्यादा दिखाई नहीं देते हैं, बिकॉज वो बेबी बचपन में ही मर जाते हैं या फीटस स्टेज पे ही मर जाते हैं. एंड Klinefelter syndrome, yes, those babies develop and will show classical abnormal features. Let's study both of these. A Turner syndrome was first described by H.H. Turner. It is X monoply. Now, a female should have X diosmy, दो है, but this female has got only one X chromosome, so it is called X monoply. It arises due to non-disjunction during meiosis of either the male or the female gamete formation, and this disease is 44X0. So, what is the chromosomal pattern? 45 chromosomes is only one sex chromosome X, and that is 44 plus X0, which can be written as 2n minus 1. If you remember, Down syndrome, there was an extra 21st chromosome, so we said that was 2n plus 1. This is not 47, not 46, this is one less, 45. So that is 2n 46 minus 1. So this is a 2n 46 minus 1, 45 chromosome wala disorder. This child will grow. The phenotype in the person is female, बराबर है. XO तो X chromosome है तो female will develop. This female will have a short stature. Her height will be less. There is webbing of the neck. Neck में folds आते हैं, which is called webbing. तो neck में webbing होता है, webbing of the neck, and there is a low posterior hairline. The posterior hairline is low, तो नीचे तक बाल होते हैं, and these females are sterile as their ovaries are rudimentary, and other features including lack of other secondary sexual characteristics. Her ovaries are rudimentary, they don't develop, so there will be no ovulation, she will be sterile. There will be no estrogen, progesterone secreted, so breast development will not take place, menstrual cycle will not take place, no secondary sexual characteristics will develop. Such females who are short-statured with webbing of neck, a posterior hairline, rudimentary ovaries, no ovulation, sterility, no estrogen, progesterone, no breast development, no menstruation, are suffering from Turner syndrome, which is 44 plus X0 disease. And we have Klinefelter syndrome, which is the 44 plus XXY. So, non-disjunction of the two X chromosome, so यहाँ 0 था, sperm fused with it, and what did it become? 44X0, Turner syndrome. And यहाँ XX था, and sperm got with that Y chromosome, it became 44 XXY. What is that disorder called as? Klinefelter syndrome. So Klinefelter syndrome is caused due to an extra sex chromosome, so the genotype is XXY instead of XY. So instead of XY, they are XXY, and they are called feminized males. So they are males, but they have got feminine characteristics because of two X chromosomes. So though X chromosomes say feminine characteristics will develop in the male, the sufferer has 47 chromosomes instead of 46, and the extra chromosome is due to non-disjunction of X chromosome during meiosis. And what will be the features of this male? This person with XXY, because of Y chromosome, will become male. And these males are tall, thin, unicoidal, sterile, and poorly developed secondary sexual characters. Testes are very small. So he will be a tall male, and the testes are poorly developed, and spermatogenesis is absent. No spermatogenesis. So sir, in case of a short-statured woman with Turner syndrome, her ovaries are rudimentary. In case of Turner syndrome, in case of a Klinefelter syndrome, a tall male, but his testes are also rudimentary, spermatogenesis will not take place. And third, these males have got normal intelligence, so their IQ is not suffering, and such an individual has overall masculine development, but feminine development of breast, which is called as gynecomastia, is also expressed. So, because of two X chromosomes will produce a lot of estrogen, and estrogen will cause fat deposition in the breast, and the breast will develop, which is a phenomenon called as gynecomastia. Gynecomastia, breast enlargement takes place, and such males are eunuchs. They have got breast development. तो बहुत सारे लोग हम लोग रास्ते में देखते हैं, you find many tall males wearing blouses and saris. Why are they having it? Because they are having breast development, gynecomastia, so they have worn blouses and saris, and बेचारे छक्के बन जाते हैं, and they keep on asking people for money. All they are having is a chromosomal disorder, Klinefelter syndrome, a 47XXY disorder. We ostracize them, we don't give them place in the society. Not their fault, it's just a chromosomal disorder, that is Klinefelter syndrome. So, we ended with just a little logic of all the three. Down syndrome is due to an extra 21st chromosome, and that is Down syndrome. Turner syndrome is one X chromosome less, which is 45XO condition. And Klinefelter syndrome is one extra X chromosome, which is 47XXY condition. So we have extra 21st chromosome in Down syndrome, one sex chromosome less in Turner syndrome, and one X chromosome extra in case of Klinefelter syndrome. I hope you all have understood this well. Please read this up thoroughly. Any doubts we'll clear in the Zoom session, and be well prepared for the next DCT, all of y'all. Take care. God bless you. Bye-bye. Sorry.